I've just cleared customs at Heathrow, and I am sprinting towards the airport exit, towards my new life in London, towards the greatest reunion in the history of transatlantic romance. I have left everything behind. I have left my job, my home, and my friends to be with the woman I have fallen madly in love with. And in a matter of seconds, she will be in my arms again, and all will be right with the world. The automatic doors swing open, and she isn't there. An hour passes before she arrives. She greets me with a weak hug and says, "I think this was a bad idea." And as she pulls the remaining pieces of my broken heart directly out of my chest, "I think you should go." I fly back to DC a completely broken man. And in the haze of heartache and grief, I begin to make some very bad decisions. I decide to embrace unemployment as a way of life, because a full-time job would surely get in the way of all that brooding that I need to do. I decide to drain my bank account to travel to music festivals all across the country, because partying with complete strangers is a lot more fun than crying alone. And I decide to start dating again immediately. Only my new approach to courtship pretty much guarantees that I don't have to worry about a broken heart ever again. I am reborn as a bad boy. The only thing in my life that isn't walled off is my bedroom. My heart, that's closed for business. Let's face it, ladies, I am not going to call you back. Just chalk me up as a bad decision. And there are a lot of bad decisions being made in DC that summer. The bad boy business is exceptionally good. And then one of my favorite bands of all time, Ride, comes to play the 930 Club. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with Ride, imagine if My Bloody Valentine made a baby with Slow Dive in the backseat of a hot rod with Jesus and Mary Chain on the car stereo at full blast. Yeah, that baby is Ride. And live, oh my God, Ride live is like being trapped in a tidal wave of chaos and noise. And just when you think you're gonna drown in the cacophony, just when you think you're gonna go insane from all the strobe lights, you'll hear it. The sweet sound of a gentle melody that will pick you up and cradle you in its arms and let you know that everything is gonna be all right. So I make my way to the satellite room to prepare for the religious experience that is seeing Ride live. And I'm 3 beers deep into pre-gaming when the bar doors swing open and this cute woman with a pixie cut flutters in with all the animated energy of a bird straight out of a Disney cartoon. And my eyes follow her as she floats around the bar until she comes to perch on the only remaining vacant bar stool in the entire place, right next to me. Oh, here we go, I think to myself. She immediately flags the bartender over. Would it be possible to get just half a beer? I have spent a lot of time in a lot of bars. And I have never, ever heard anyone ask such a ridiculous question. But oh no, she doesn't stop there. She follows up with this little gem. And what's the soup of the day? Did this strange creature just walk into a bar, try to order a half beer, and then follow it up with a question about soup? She was seriously killing my buzz. So to escape this whole half-beer bowl of soup debacle that's escalating right beside me, I focus my attention on the television over the bar. Couldn't have been more than 30 seconds go by before half-beer herself taps me on the shoulder. What movie is that? It's Oliver Stone's Any Given Sunday. Ah, yes, Oliver Stone. He's the guy that directed Goodfellas. Now, I know for a fact that Oliver Stone did not direct Goodfellas, but I have zero interest in playing movie trivia with half-beer. So I changed the subject to the one thing and the one thing only that I am interested in talking about, the Ride concert. Are you here for the show? She nods, and I'm shocked to find myself in the company of a fellow Ride fan. I immediately perk up. I saw them a few months ago at the Shaky Knees Festival in Atlanta, and it was absolutely amazing. What songs do you want to hear tonight? She smiles, she leans in, and she says, I've got to be honest with you. My friend's husband bailed at the last minute. I'm kind of like her stand-in date. I think I had a few Ride songs on a mixtape back in college, but I couldn't name a single Ride song if you paid me. And with that, she shoveled another spoonful of soup into her mouth. Could she really not name a single Ride song? Was she going to eat soup before a rock concert? And why did she only want half a beer? But before any of those questions could be answered, her friend arrived. I finished my beer and I ran across the street to the 9:30 Club to secure my favorite spot right up front. The concert was absolutely glorious, and I am still buzzing as I make my way out of the venue until the notion of returning to my empty apartment sets in. And as I consider my options for the remainder of the evening, I spy half-beer and her friend in the crowd. Wasn't that amazing? Half-beer size. It was okay. Just okay? You must have a pretty high bar for amazing. What do you say we go grab a drink so you can tell me what it takes to amaze you? A drink? Now? Are you serious? It's midnight. I've got to work tomorrow. Don't you have to work tomorrow? I did not. At this point, Half-Beer's friend gleefully chimes in. Well, you two should grab a drink at some point. She is recently single, after all. Fine, Half-Beer says, shooting a nasty look in the direction of her friend. Just give me your contact information and I'll connect with you at some point. Contact information? Please, just Google Pierce McManus. You'll find me. I'm kind of a big deal. Yes, and she reacted kind of like that. But I was persistent. What if I want to get in touch with you? Half-Beer sighs, reached into her bag, pulls out her wallet. I think I'm all out of business cards. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in what can only be referred to as a dick move, I announce, that's fine, one of these should do, as I reach into Half-Beer's wallet and remove the first card that I see. It's her Planned Parenthood membership card. When I wake the next morning, I see the card on my desk. Did I seriously steal a woman's Planned Parenthood card last night? And as I begin to feel the first pangs of guilt that I've felt in a very long time, I wonder, geez, how much longer are you going to keep this up? And then I do what anyone else in my position would do. I Google Half-Beer, and I quickly find out that, well, she's kind of a big deal. Air Force veteran, world traveler, and apparently a close personal friend of fellow bad boy Ben Affleck. Good job, asshole. There's another interesting woman you'll never hear from. I heard from her a week later. She sent me an email with the subject line, "Stolen Planned Parenthood card." We met for drinks 2 nights after that. We talked about music, travel, her love of soup. I also learned that she had recently had her own devastating breakup, and it was like she knew exactly how I felt. And every time I saw her after that, my heart melted a little more, along with my stupid bad boy veneer. Well, I'm pleased to tell you tonight that Half Beer and I are still together 2.5 years later. And Half Beer, who also goes by the name Kit, are very much in love. But I bet you're wondering the same thing that I was wondering for a very, very long time. Why did she contact me? After I had been such a complete jerk the night that we met. This is what she said. Thank you. Just wait. Here's what she said. She said, "My friends all told me that I needed a meaningless fling to get over my bad breakup. You seem perfect for the part. You weren't supposed to be anything more than a bad decision."